This was the moment that President Trump decided to order the strikes. A meeting with his closest advisors in a secure room set up in his Mar-a-Lago resort less than 4 hours before the cruise missiles were launched. It was a limited operation targeting the airfield the Pentagon believes is where the planes that carried out the chemical attack took off from. But does Trump's intervention in Syria end there? On Air Force One, in the hours before ordering military action on Thursday, President Trump spoke to the press. During the same flight, reporters were briefed about the idea of setting up safe zones to protect people on the ground in parts of Syria from aerial bombardment. It's an idea that Trump has floated a number of times before. It's clearly now under active consideration. As a presidential candidate, Donald Trump made it clear he would not be intervening against Assad and instead wanted to focus on the fight against ISIL. The US military has certainly been involved in that, with many concerned about a rise in civilian casualties in Iraq and Syria in recent months. But now that ongoing military operation may prove a little harder. President Putin, angered by the cruise missile strikes and who has his own air force flying missions over Syria, has threatened to end what's known as the deconfliction channel, a hotline between the US and Russia. If he goes ahead withdrawing this cooperation, it risks mid-air collisions or a dangerous misunderstanding between the two world powers. The leader of China, the other major global power, happened to be with President Trump over the period when he ordered the cruise missile strikes. It doesn't seem to have soured the tone of their first meeting. One expert says on one major issue they were discussing, trying to stop the nuclear threat from Kim Jong-un's North Korea, it may have made a positive contribution.
Certainly think that people in Pyongyang would be watching this very closely and seriously, and to some degree they would be a little bit nervous about this strike on Syria.
A tough president is just the image Donald Trump wants on the world stage. But Syria's long, brutal war is complex and has proved to be a place where often there are unintended consequences. President Trump has got involved. Extricating himself and the US may be much more difficult. James Bays, Al Jazeera, Palm Beach.